The Chiefs have won the AFC West for going on 9 straight years, and they've been to the AFC Championship every single year that Patrick Mahomes has been the starting quarterback, which makes it difficult to predict that Kansas City won't make it to a game shy of making it to the Super Bowl when they've done it every year with Mahomes as the starter. But there's always a first time for everything. And history does not define future outcomes. I say this all the time. Just because you've won a lot in the past doesn't guarantee that you're going to continue to sustain that level of success in the future. And of course, when you talk to Chiefs fans and you say that they're not going to win the AFC West, the Broncos or the Chargers are going to, they're going to say, oh, these teams get hyped up every single year and the Chiefs always end up coming out on top. I don't believe that it's logical to expect the Chiefs to make it to the AFC Championship for 2 straight decades. Eventually, there are going to be some seasons when this team does end up losing in the first round or the second round of the playoffs. For as dominant as what the Patriots dynasty was with Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, they had their moments when they went a few seasons without making it to the Super Bowl, coming up short in the playoffs, losing in the divisional round, like when they lost to Joe Flacco and the Ravens that year when the Ravens won the Super Bowl, when they lost to the Denver Broncos, with Peyton Manning being on his last leg. The Patriots had years when they weren't in the AFC Championship game, when they weren't competing for a Super Bowl. Mainly why Kansas City has been so dominant is because they've been the beneficiaries of playing in a division that's been relatively weak. For the 9 years that Kansas City has taken home the AFC West crown, they've had to deal with the other 3 teams in their division having a rotating door at head coach, not having stability at quarterback. Well, now going into the 2025 NFL season, the AFC West is way different now for Kansas City than what it has been the past 9 years that they've dominated this division. You now have 3 future Hall of Fame coaches going up against Andy Reid. Jim Harbaugh has been to 3 conference championship games. He's been to a Super Bowl. He's won everywhere that he's coached at. You have Sean Payton, who's going to be a future Hall of Famer. He's a former Super Bowl champ. You have a promising quarterback and Bo Nix, who had a really good rookie season. You got Pete Carroll, who also has been a championship winning coach. He has Geno Smith, who may not be as good as Justin Herbert or Bo Nix, Mahomes. He still is going to give the Raiders more stable quarterback play that they've received since they got rid of Derek Carr a few years ago. With the amount of talent that is now in the AFC West at coaching and at quarterback, the Chiefs don't have an easy cakewalk to the AFC West title as what they've had in years past. And what has helped them make it to so many AFC Championship games in the Super Bowl is that on most occasions, they always had the 1 seed and they were able to win it because they just ran through the AFC West, which was a cakewalk. But it's no longer a walk in Disneyland for Kansas City anymore. Kansas City isn't as talented now as what they were a few years back. Their offensive line has questions. Your defense has a few questions as well. But the main consistent that Kansas City has been able to lean on has been Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. But what happens when Jim Harbaugh finally has his ideal team? What happens when Sean Payton finally gets Bo Nix playing at an MVP level, which he has the potential to do with how well he looked in his first season? What happens if Pete Carroll is able to have the Raiders in more one possession games that they're more better equipped to win than what they were under Antonio Pierce. The AFC West has become a nuclear war, and I don't believe that Kansas City is going to walk out of this season winning their 10th straight AFC West when the war is all said and over. You have too many good future Hall of Fame coaches, too many teams that have good, consistent quarterback play, and two teams in the Chargers and the roster, or in the Chargers and the Broncos, that from a roster standpoint are good enough to be Super Bowl contenders. The AFC West has changed, and Kansas City Chiefs fans refuse to accept that. I'm not going to say that they're ignorant to believe that they're going to win the division every single year, but I do believe that there is a certain amount of arrogance that this fan base has to just live in denial that you're never going to come a game shy of making it to the AFC Championship. I think it's a little bit delusional, because essentially what you're telling me is that the Chiefs are out there playing Madden in real life in franchise mode when you win the Super Bowl every year, or you make it to your conference championship every year. And until Patrick Mahomes retires, the Chiefs are always going to finish a game short at worst of the Super Bowl. That is unrealistic. Eventually, the AFC West is going to catch up with the Chiefs, and I believe we've already seen that happen. But we just haven't had the games be played yet. But when the season kicks off, you're going to see a Chargers team that now is built to perfectly play the style of football that Jim Harbaugh has won with. You have a Broncos team that has one of the best defenses in the NFL going into this season, with Bo Nix entering year 2, who has MVP potential. And then you have the Raiders, who are going to be a scrappy and feisty football team. This is not going to be a walk in the park for Kansas City this year. I am willing to bet that Kansas City does not win the AFC West this year, more than I'm willing to bet that they win their 10th straight AFC West title. This division is just way more difficult now as what it has been in years past.